Hi everyone, today it's time for another video in this Ichimoku tutorial series, and today we will talk about when is the right time to use Ichimoku Cloud technical indicator for your trading. In my last video I talked about when not to use the Ichimoku Cloud, but today I will cover when it is the right time to use Ichimoku Cloud technical indicator and how to identify that right time using the Ichimoku technical indicator itself. So the right time to use Ichimoku Cloud indicator is when the stock you are trading in is in a clear trend, as this is mentioned in my blog post, that the stock should be in a clear uptrend or clear downtrend. So some of you must be wondering that how we can find out that a stock is in uptrend or downtrend. So you can identify this through the Ichimoku cloud itself. So here we will understand it using a Bitcoin chart. I'm opening a image of the chart which I have added in my blog post on in my Ichimoku tutorial blog post. So here, if you can see, this is the Bitcoin chart on a daily time frame, and this is where the uptrend started. It started from here and it continued till here. So and now plus the Ichimoku cloud I have already added in the chart. So if you see from here, the candle, the current price of the Bitcoin is above all the Ichimoku lines, including the cloud, the Kijun Sen, which is the red line, and the blue line, which is the conversion line or the Tenkan Sen. So all the prices above all the lines and all the cloud, the upper boundary as well as the lower boundary of the cloud, and this goes to show that the price is in the uptrend. And if we move ahead, see that the candles are short, but still the it is maintained that the price is above all the Ichimoku lines. And if we see here, the price came down, but it remained above the conversion line, which is the blue line. And again, if you see here, it has been maintaining this pattern that the price is remaining constantly, it is remaining above the Tenkan Sen, which is the topmost line in the current situation. So then we see a very long bullish green candle followed by a red candle. Here the price came down, but it never went below the Tenkan Sen, and it continued the uptrend. Here you see that if we ignore Ichimoku cloud for some time, you can clearly see that the chart is Bitcoin chart is making higher highs and higher lows. This was one high, and then this was another high. This high is higher than this high, and this high is higher than this high. So it is making higher highs. And if we talk about lows, previously this was the low, then this was the low. This low was higher than this low. Then again, after this long candle, this red candle made a low, but this low was higher than this low. So the chart is clearly making higher highs and higher lows, which is a indication that the stock is in the uptrend. But you can, for those who are new to technical analysis, they can understand this using the Ichimoku cloud itself, that the price will remain above the Tenkan Sen and above the baseline. So here for a very long time the price kept above the Tenkan Sen, and here after such a long trend, if we see here, the price was somewhere around 12,000, and from 12,000, even below 12,000, I should say, from trend started here and price was somewhere like 11,600 here, and from 11,600 the price went till 19,104. So this was the power of uptrend, and after reaching 19,000 the price went down, and it hit the low of around 16,800. But if you see here, the price came low, but it remained above the baseline, which is the red line, also known as Kijun-sen. I have also mentioned in the chart that price closes above the baseline means uptrend is intact in BTC. So price came down, but since it was above the baseline, so it again followed up with the uptrend. And you see this green candle, this was higher than the previous high, and it overshadowed the previous red candles, which were indicating a bit of a downtrend. But it this is a clearly a bullish engulfing candle, closing above the previous red lines, and so on. So this is how we understood that the price is in uptrend, and it is the ideal stock or the ideal situation to use the Ichimoku cloud to trade. So a way to trade is very simple. You need to, although I will discuss the buying strategy using the Ichimoku cloud in a separate video in detail, but here I will give a clue that basically when the price is going up and the stock is in uptrend, you need to wait for some fall in the stock, because you know that stock is in the uptrend, and once it will come down and you see a bullish candle after the low, then it is the right point to enter the stock. So here after two strong bearish candles, there was a doji, and one can enter the stock somewhere here, or if you want more confirmation you can wait for another day, and when you see that there is a bullish candle, the doji is followed by the bullish candle, and you already know the stock is in the uptrend, you may enter here, and the stock is likely to go above the previous high. The previous high was this in this case, and it clearly within the 2 days, the Bitcoin went above the previous high. So this could be your target, the previous high, and stop loss. If you have entered here, the after this doji, either you have entered here or you have entered after this green candle, which is the next day open, which is here. So from here to here, your stop loss will be somewhere below the baseline, and your target will be the previous high. So now after Bitcoin we will understand how we can identify a downtrend, again using the Ichimoku cloud. So here I'm opening the chart of Reliance, and I will show that how we can detect a stock in the downtrend using the Ichimoku cloud. So here if you see, the downtrend in Reliance started from here, from this red candle, when the candle closed below the cloud. So this is the cloud, this was the green cloud, this is the lower boundary of the cloud, and the price closed here below the cloud. This is where the downtrend started. So now if you see here, in next few days, the price was closing above, and it tried to go up, but if you see this blue line, if you see this blue line, which is Tenkan-sen, it is not letting the price go above it. You see, it is acting as a clear resistance for the price, and the price is going down and down. Again, there was a green candle, and faced the resistance of Tenkan-sen, and next day there was another green candle, but now this time it faced the lower boundary of the cloud as the resistance. So basically, as long as the price is closing, the price is remaining below the cloud, it indicates that the stock is in downtrend. So if you see here, after facing the resistance at the lower boundary of the cloud, it made a inverted hammer kind of candle, which is a bearish candle, followed up with a two strong bearish red candles, and again some small green candles, but they were weak candles as compared to the red candles because the price is in the downtrend. Again a red candle, a green candle, followed up with some red candles, but these all are, apart from this, all are bearish candles. Again you see a inverted hammer which face the resistance at the upper boundary of the resistance at the uh, now this baseline, which is the red line, acted as a resistance, and price closed below this, and this followed up with uh, some more candles, but again now previously the blue candle here, this was acting as a resistance, and now the baseline, which is also above the blue candle, but now it is acting as a resistance. So this followed up with few red candles, again a green candle. It closed a little bit above the baseline, but the price is still well below the cloud. And this followed up with some red candles, and again one very strong red candle. This followed up with uh, a number of more red candles, and price is, the if you look at the shape of the cloud is moving down, and accordingly price, as long as the price is below the cloud, price is also moving down. Now a few green candles, and again now along with the tenkan sen, the lower boundary of the cloud is acting as a resistance, and it is not letting price close above the cloud. And if you see, the clearly the candles are making lower lows, although these are green candles, but they are lower than this red candle. So up till here in this maroon rectangle, I have shown that the price of this Reliance stock was in the downtrend, and the downtrend here, in one situation the price had went so low, this baseline and the conversion line, also known as tenkan, it was acting as a resistance, and it made a low of around 1080. After that there was a green candle, and this was a very bullish engulfing candle, very strong as compared to the red candle. After that the stock opened gapped up, but despite such a strong green candles and gap up, it faced the resistance. Price came up but failed to close above the cloud. So basically, when as long as the price is remaining below the cloud and it is not closing above the cloud, it means that the downtrend is continuing. And despite this rise, the price went low again, and from here to here, it kept going low because the cloud was acting as a resistance. So this was the one depiction of a downtrend in a stock through Ichimoku cloud. And if you notice here, the cloud was red for a significant amount of time. This is another indication that the price is likely to remain in the downtrend, and that's what happened. And now I have also captured, using the same stock, I have also captured how the trend changed. So this was the green candle which changed the entire picture. So here the price closed above the moving averages and the cloud. So through this green candle, The it started from here at somewhere below the cloud, at right at the bottom of the cloud, and within the single candle, it not only broke the Tenkan Sen as well as the Kijun Sen, but it also closed above the cloud. So if you track from here, none of the candles closed above the cloud. So they were either these Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen were acting as a resistance, or the cloud itself was acting as a resistance. But the moment the candle closed above the cloud, this was a strong indication that the trend is likely to change. So the next candle was red. Price found support at the span B and closed above the cloud. So span B is nothing but the boundary of the cloud. If the cloud is red, the upper boundary of the cloud will be called span B, and if the cloud is green, the lower boundary of the span of the cloud will be called span B, and the upper boundary will be called span A. So it found the support at the upper boundary of the cloud, and it was followed up with a green candle, which is a strong green candle, as powerful as the previous red candle, and the price closed above the red candle. This was a confirmation of the uptrend, and this was a good point to make an entry in the stock. And if you see here, it followed up with the higher highs and higher lows. This high was higher than this high, this low was higher than the this low, and again high, 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 low. This low was higher than this low. So this way now the price is continuously closing above the Tenkan Sen till here. In the downtrend, the price was closing below the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen, and in the uptrend, the price is closing above the Tenkan Sen. Now the same Tenkan Sen which was previously acting as a resistance, now it is acting as a support. Now even if the price is closing above the Tenkan Sen, it is closing well above the Kijun Sen, which is the red line. Price I have mentioned in the chart as well. Price came down but failed to close below the baseline. And whenever the price went below the Tenkan Sen, it made a strong green candle, which is a good indication that the uptrend is in intact. And after that, if you see the red line, the red candle, it is above the Tenkan Sen. So one can take an entry here, or here one can take an entry and keep their stop loss according to their risk appetite, probably below the baseline. So here the baseline is rising. So if you keep the stop loss somewhere here, it will be a small stop loss only, and the price is likely to break the previous high. So within the next candle itself, it had broken the previous high, and you can continue to hold the stock and keep trailing the stop loss just below the baseline. So previously, at the time of the entry, the stop loss was somewhere here. Now you can keep moving as the this baseline is moving up. You can keep trailing the stop loss up. So the price is also moving up. The baseline is also moving up. So if you see here till here also, you can your stop loss will not get hit because the price is in the uptrend. The stock is in the uptrend, and this is one way to follow the trend, to uh, make the most of the uptrend, and you know make good profit. And many traders use this strategy that they don't add any target, they just keep trailing their stop loss. And here, if I went with the previous high, this would have been my target somewhere here. But since I'm trailing the stop loss, and I'm not closing my trade after hitting the target, and I know that price is going high, so I can keep trailing the stop loss, and it is likely that I can make the most of this uptrend, and I will make sometimes traders even make like 40% 40% high targets can be achieved through by just by trailing the stop loss. Sometimes the stocks remain in trend for more than a year as well. If you have seen that during after during 2020, after the downtrend of COVID, there was a long uptrend and it remained intact for like 1.5 years. And in such a scenario, if you follow the strategy that you just follow the trend and keep trailing your stop loss, it will be, you can make more profit than what you will make by just booking the profit and on by setting the target. And this strategy can also be followed in the downtrend. Yeah, if you are doing a short trade after this candle, after this red candle, when price closed below the cloud and it was followed up with 10% acting as a resistance. This goes to show that this will give the confirmation, and you can keep the stop loss somewhere above the cloud or in the above the lower boundary of the cloud, and you can just uh, trail your stop loss, and you can achieve the you can the make the most of the downtrend, and by doing so you can probably you can make a more profit here ideally, because the cloud is very flat. So it will the ideal way to trail the stop loss will be through the keeping it above the baseline, somewhere above the baseline. And this was the motive of this video, that you can identify whether the firstly you understood that uh, when is the right time to use the Ichimoku Cloud Indicator, which is that the stock should be in the clear either uptrend or downtrend. And secondly, you can also or you can identify that the stock is in uptrend or downtrend using the Ichimoku Cloud.